Okay, people cure hepatitis, and I'm going to tell you a story. And this is a story about the pivotal moment in my life. Actually, it's how my life changed forever. I was never the same after this. You know, it's about a hepatitis cure, you probably guessed. I'm Bayard. I was cure 0 in the cure drive. I cured 2 kinds of herpes, HSV 1 and 2. It was back in 1993. And that actually didn't do it for me. I didn't really become a disease activist by curing my herpes. It was just something I didn't really even know I did. You know, it was, you know, for probably, it took months for me to realize that I wasn't going to get any more outbreaks if I kept the herpes out. And before I go on, when I say kept the herpes out, is there something that sounds strange about that to you? Kept the herpes out. What could he be talking about? Okay, I want to tell you that what you're going to learn here is weird. And that's the main thing that's wrong with it. There's this problem with this, which is it just is a major turnoff because it's really strange. And so if you're not here anymore, like, you know, if you turned the movie off a few minutes ago when I started talking about this stuff, I don't blame you, you know. Actually, it's probably something I would have done back before I cured all this stuff, you know, that I've cured. And I haven't had a flu even try to come on since 1993. But that didn't do it for me. And the thing that did it for me was a hepatitis cure. It was my friend Bill Pelly, cured hepatitis B. So I'm going to tell you the story about his hepatitis cure. Now, Bill called me up, and he said to me, I went to the doctor, and I've got hepatitis B. And I got so scared, because I have been so angry at Bill at times I've wanted to kill him myself. However, the thought of going to his funeral really frightened me. And so I said, come on over, and we're going to figure out how to cure this. Because I knew, like, sort of like privately, you know, I knew that I'd cured my herpes. Like, I was still messing with it, you know, back then. This was end of 95, beginning of 96, so I was pretty clear that I'd cured my herpes at that point. But I still was not a disease activist. I was basically kind of drifting along, you know, showing people how to feel better. Because what you're going to learn here makes you feel really good. It kind of blisses you out, you know. And so that's what I was doing, you know. I was doing this kind of spiritual work, you know. Well, this was different because, you know, the chips were down. Bill came over, and we went for a run in Wissahickon Park. We were in Philadelphia. It's back when I lived in Philly. We went for a run in Wissahickon Park, and I said, okay, we're going to come up with a protocol for curing this hepatitis. Ten days later, he calls me up. He went back to the doctor. They were going to start his medication, and they retested him. And there's no real medicine for hepatitis B, but I guess they give them an IV drip of something. Can't remember right now what it was. Calls me up and he says, I'm testing negative. He cured it. That's simple. It was like 10-day turnaround. That's simple. So the question is, how did he do it? Well, okay. Here's a book that I wrote, and It's an e-book. I printed it out in 8.5 by 11 because I like a big printout. And inside this book, there are, I'm not finding it right now, but there are 2 lists, okay? Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we just pretend, okay, forget the book. In this hand, I have a list of bodies. In this hand, I have a list of pathologies, okay? Now, what you do, here's how you cure the hepatitis. You take these pathologies out of these bodies. You look for them. You're gonna, I don't know if you've done lesson number 1 yet. If you have done lesson number 1, then you learned how to test, and if you haven't, you'll do it right after watching this movie. And so what you do is you test through the bodies. Is it, first you take and you say, do I have this pathology? And if you get a yes, then you test body by body, this one, this one, this one, and you take the pathology out of each body that you find it in. Then you take out the hepatitis the same way. Once the bodies are free of pathologies, you go the same way. Is it in this body, hepatitis B in this body, or hepatitis C, or whatever the hepatitis is? By the way, I sort of want to apologize for putting all the hepatitis I on one page. It just seemed easier, to consolidate them like that. But I do understand that they're all different. Okay, I do understand that, and that they have different causes, and that you will encounter, when you do the testing, you will encounter them in different ways, and you will be taking different hepatitises out of different bodies. And also you'll find that you have different pathologies, because the pathologies are cofactors in the hepatitis. So they have to come out first. And then after you've taken all the hepatitis out of all the bodies, which may be sufficient to cure the hepatitis if you keep it out. And as I said, this is weird. You're going to find that it's back. You go to sleep, you wake up, it's back. That's what I found with my herpes. And in my case, I had a kind of herpes where if you kept it out, it had to be in the spiral body for 3 days to manifest in the physical body as an outbreak. Okay? So, I mean, I know this sounds completely outlandish to somebody who hasn't done this, but this is how I cured it. And I think you have to realize when you look at that cure tally and you see that there are 52,000 cures, that you've got a way of curing it here, okay? These people cured these things, and so can you. So, whatever. So it's weird. You're going to have to live in this alien reality that you take it out and you feel completely different. I mean, you can feel that it's gone. I mean, you feel different, okay? When you take out herpes, see, I didn't realize that my herpes made me feel a particular way till I didn't have it anymore. And then all of a sudden I went, my God, I feel completely different, And I'd been feeling that way for years. So it's kind of, wow, what a difference, boy. Anyway, Bill's cure was the thing that brought me into the disease warpath that I'm on now. And, I can only make a 9-minute movie and put it up on YouTube, and I want these movies on YouTube because I want more people to find them. So I think I'm just going to stop here, let you do lesson number 1 and get started listening to the cure shows and curing the hepatitis. Go for it. And we need more hepatitis cure shows. So when you get into this, give us a call and let's get you on the cure show.